a little pasta bed, doing fairly good. Gazebo that we had put in, 5 years ago maybe. So here's this perennial garden. It has a lot of rose of Sharon, which I've made most of them into trees. Don't have a lot of time to fool with weeds. Don't have an irrigation system, so we use a lot of mulch and butterfly bushes here, and cleomes, mammoth, daylily, that's the name of it. That's one of my favorites. There's my favorite canna is Black Knight. That's one of the few, I guess it's annuals. I have to take it up in the fall. I don't know the names of all the bushes. This is about my favorite evergreen, thread leaf something. But I liked it so much that I went ahead and got quite a few over the years. Got really into daylilies a year or 2 or 3 ago, and probably have 80 varieties in this garden. There's the red barberry. There's kind of the pathway down to the garden. Just talking a little bit about trees. These are bald cypress. There's 3 of them here. This one right here, and that one, white pine in the middle. But bald cypress are great trees. I'm a forester, by the way. White pine are great trees, but daggone, the Norway spruce, just fantastic trees. This is zone 6 in Kentucky, and more Norways. So just walking on down here. I don't do any spraying of roses, so all my roses are shrub roses. Don't have any hybrid teas, floribundas, grandifloras. This is my favorite butterfly bush. It's Miss Molly, and Miss Violet is also. They don't get big and leggy. They bloom just months and months. Of course, coreopsis. Just love that plant. I've allowed some of the rose of Sharon to get big and bushy, and that looks like a big snow cone. They haven't started doing much yet. Here's a few that are large. As you'll see, most of them I've trained into trees just so I can have an understory of, other perennial plants. There goes a purple martin in the nest. First year they've come around. I've tried for 7 or 8 years, and this is the first year we've had any come by. This is the first rose of Sharon that species is starting to flower. But they're more of a late summer, fall flower for the garden. When everything else is petering out, they get rolling. Probably got a dozen different varieties of Rose of Sharon. Here's blue chiffon, pink chiffon, white chiffon, blue chiffon. Are all really pretty Rose of Sharon. And then the doubles. That will be a big pink snowball. I've got to keep this to 15 minutes, my brother says, so can't see it all. But it's kind of all pretty similar in a way. A few more Rose of Sharon that are starting to bloom. Okay. Got a few climbing roses that are really ground cover roses that I just let them run on the ground. I train them up in a tree. So here we go into the rose garden with red barberry and these blue spruce that have been grafted. And they've been here probably 8 or 10 years. The rose garden is all shrub roses. I don't do any spraying. Use a lot of mulch because I don't do any watering. Water them when they go in. And after that, pretty well got to take care of themselves. By the way, a lot of people think that red cedar trees are just, no good for nothing. But they sure do make a nice tree around here. These are all burning bushes I planted when they were very small. Put chicken wire around them when they were 6 inches tall because the rabbits were eating them all up. And 10 years later, did pretty good. Here is the butterfly garden, and it is just for the butterflies, plus, other stuff, but we get 50 butterflies at one time around in here, and that's pretty neat. This was kind of a wild area with some cedars, so went ahead and just took everything out, put mulch in there. Need to clean off the pathway. Speaking of good trees, sugar maple is just about the best. A little slower growing than water maple or silver maple and red maple, but man, super tree. So this is predominated by butterfly bushes. Here's one of the best Rose of Sharon. It's called, if I can remember its name, Fuji, and got a very pretty flower. It's got a little bit of everything, but like I said, it's mostly butterfly bushes. They haven't done much flowering yet. A few of them have, but most of them haven't. We plant fennel and parsley and dill because that's supposed to be important in the life cycle of butterflies. Oh yes, and of course have to have some oriental lilies. Asiatic has no fragrance. Oriental gets the whole garden going. Not sure what all these plants are, but this is a rugosa. This is a red rugosa. These hips just get humongous and red later in the summer. This was a hosta bed that didn't do too well. Area that was hard to mow, so hootenanny and snow on the mountain, decided they liked it here. And I said, fine, tired of fooling with you. When plants get planted, buckets of water, keep them going, get them started. Of course, here's the Japanese beetle spray, which we have to have in Kentucky. This is just the backyard, and got 3 mature white oak trees and a big ash tree. This is where we do a lot of greens and a few tomato plants. And many of the plants in the gardens have been started by root cuttings, a few by air layering. These are the beds that I used to use, don't do much anymore, to root layer plants. Got pretty successful at it. Here's a few that are ready to give away. I don't have any more room to plant them. And these are upright elephant ears. And I got one, years ago, and these will get 5 times that big. But they multiply, and just got to put them away for the winter. Here's a bunch that I need to find a home for them somewhere. This was just where I made dirt, and didn't need the dirt this year, so we got those wave petunias. Speaking of wave petunias, I had a storm take down a big pine tree here and a big beech there. So I just bought, instead of getting the root out, or the stump and the root, bought a big pot. We put a potato vine and the trailing petunia and the black knight canna. Love the black knight canna. And been doing that for a few years now, and fairly easy to just water them every once in a while.